Hello all, welcome back to another Java tutorial. Today we are going to be going over loops in Java. More specifically the while and the do while loop. There are a few other loops that are available in Java, but in today's video we're only going to be doing the while and the do while loop. So what do loops do? Loops basically repeat or execute a certain block of codes a number of times that you specify. So firstly, we need, let's say, a counter or an iteration. So, let's say we do int I is equal to 0. So this is like, let's say, a counter. We'll just do a counter or an iteration of our loop. So we start off at 0. So the first iteration is always 0, and then the second iteration is 1, and then so on. So now we can have a while loop here, and we go while I is less than, say, 5. And then, so what this means is we will execute this piece of code in here. So any code that is in here, we will execute this a number of times while this condition is true. So while this condition is true, we keep executing this piece of code. So we can print out, for example, I, but then we need this loop to only run, let's say 5 times. So what we do is we do I plus plus, and then we increment the counter by 1 every single iteration. So if we run this, you can see we get a loop of 0 to 4. The reason is we check. So if this condition is true, so I, which is 0, so while I is less than 5, okay, so this condition is true, we will print out I, which is 0, and then we will increment it by 1. So now I becomes 1. And then we do the same thing, so 1 is less than 5, that's true, we do this code, then it'd be 2, 3, and then when it gets to the last one, it will check, okay, 4 is less than 5, that's true, we will print out 4, and then we will increment it by 1. So now I is 5, and now whenever we go back to the while loop, the condition here is going to be 5 is less than 5. This is false because 5 is equal to 5. So because this is false, this loop or this piece of code will not be looped, it will not be executed, and then we will exit out of this loop. So that's the while loop. The way it works is it will always check the condition first and then execute the piece of code in here. The do while works the other way around. It will execute the piece of code first, and then it will check if the condition is true. Once again, the while loop will check if this condition here is true before exiting this code. The do while will execute the code first and then check if this condition here is true. So let's create a do while. Let's say, so we have to do, and then we'll do while, and then we'll also have a condition in here, and then a semicolon. So it's pretty similar to this while loop, except now we have a do. So the way this works is now we will do this code in here, whatever code is in here, while this condition is true. So it works the opposite way around to the while. While we checked if this is true first, and then we execute it. But now we're going to execute it, and then when it's finished executing, we're going to check if this is true. So we can just have the same example here. We will print out I, and then we'll increment I by 1, so I plus plus. And now we can run this same code, and you'll see we'll get the exact same output. So we print out 0, we'll increment it by 1, so now that becomes 1. Then we check if it's true. If it is, continue, and then we'll keep doing that until we get to 4, and then 4 will be less than 5, so it will not get executed. We can modify the condition, so we can do smaller or equal to. So now this code will run until I is smaller or it's equal to I. So you can see we get 5 here. We can even change the counter. If let's say if you want to start at 1, you just want to print out the numbers 1 to 5. You can do 1 to 5. let's say we can do let's say we only want to run it for 5 times. So this is the counter of how many times we want to execute this code. So then we can do I is bigger or equal to let's do 0. Let's do 1. And now instead of I plus plus, we do I minus minus, which is a decrement. We run this. You can see we get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because we start at 5. 5 is bigger or equal to 1, so we will print that out, and then we will take away 1, and then we will continue on. So we can do it the other way around. We can start at 0, and then we can work our way up to here, or we can start at the bigger number and work our way down. It's completely up to you. So yeah, that was the while and the do while loop. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.